Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another FPL Tips live stream. We'll just give it a few more minutes while we hope a few more people come in, and then we'll get started. So just hold off. Let me know how your game week 10 went, and anything you want to know going into game week 11. Fire away, and we will get cracking. I'm just editing as we speak a new sort of overlay for the stream when it goes on YouTube. So that would be cool. Done for me by someone on Twitter, which was really useful. So yeah. But yeah, you guys fire away any questions and I'll get to them in a minute. 59 points. Well done, Supersport Gaming. That is really good. Very strong performance, that. Who was the main one getting you the points? I imagine you probably had a Leicester player in there. If not, who was it that got you all your points this game week? I'll be with you all in just 1 minute. Let me just change that. And that should be done. Right, let's get into it. So, one more time out on Twitter. Let's go. So, first of all, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. Supersport Gaming, Claudio, Hamish, all thanks a lot. It means a lot you guys coming in every week. A lot of familiar faces now. So, first question, Pope, Button, Bolly, Rico, Lundstrom, Perez, 2 free transfers. What do you do? So, Chu, Traore. Okay, instantly, Hudson Odoi and Traore are probably the ones that I'd be looking at. In your defence, and also you only own one Liverpool player, so looking to bring in, and you have Bolly. So for me, I don't know if you have any, you got 0.1 in the bank. Okay. I was going to say Bolly to Robertson or Trent, but even downgrading Traore isn't going to get you enough money to do that. But I then even look long term to sell Aguero because one, he hasn't been performing, and two, those City fixtures don't get harder from after this game week. We'll get into the fixtures for this game week in a minute, but his fixtures definitely don't get any easier. And if we don't know where he's going to fit into that, how often he's going to play, then definitely needs to be reconsidered having him in our teams. So yes, chances are he'll play this weekend. So maybe it's worth doing something like Traore, but then I suppose you might want to switch it up and change formation. So it's really hard because you kind of want to have these 2 free transfers next week and do Aguero downgrade, Traore upgrade, and a Bolly upgrade. Is what I'd look at Supersport Gaming for that. So yeah, Aguero down, Traore and Bolly up, so a 3-5-2. I think that would then make you play. Also, Chu is a slight rotation risk, so definitely keep an eye on that one. As for my team going in, so my team last game week, I scored 56 points, which got me an alright green arrow. I'm close to leaving. Leaving me close to climbing out of the top 1 million. So this is quite a big game week for me coming up. So yeah, it's a big week for me. If I can get a green arrow here, come out of the top million, I think my season will be slowly turning around. But if I end up with a red arrow this week, then we'll be back where we were. So for me this week, 56 points. Captain Sterling coming in. One of the first game weeks this season that I've captained my highest scoring player. Yup. Sadly, Soyuncu on my bench, but it was either I was going to start Soyuncu or Rico, really, so that didn't make much difference. De Bruyne with an assist, and which should have been given as a goal. I was still stand by. De Bruyne should have had the goal, and David Silva shouldn't. And if David Silva did touch it, then it should have been offside. A Salah goal penalty, which was great to see, and Abraham and Mount with assists, and Rico a clean sheet, scoring me 56 points. So my team for next game week is there now for you all. So we have Sterling captain again. This is likely to be Sterling's last game week in my team. And we'll get on to, well, I suppose the reason that is the case is because their fixtures are becoming harder, and I am looking at Sterling to Mane to have a Liverpool triple up and just have De Bruyne as my Man City coverage to try and sort of spur on my rank a little bit over the upcoming weeks. And I know Sterling will play most games and he can score in any game, but so can Mane. And Mane's ceiling is definitely higher in the upcoming fixtures compared to what we could see from Sterling. So that triple up likely to happen. But this week, my transfer thoughts are Cantwell upgrade. So I have 2.3 million in the bank. So a Cantwell upgrade to Martial, who has not blanked when he started this season and plays away at Bournemouth. And to get this tiny bit of extra cash that I need to do this, a downgrade for Callum Wilson to currently thinking Raul Jimenez, although if anyone has any better suggestions at strikers under 7.4 million, fire away. As you might have seen, I tweeted, I even considered bringing Pookie back because their fixtures aren't awful and he can score goals, but just none of them were doing it for me at all. So, and I know if I brought Pookie back, I would just end up losing money on him because he's just going to keep dropping in price. Which is why I'm not, I think bringing Pookie back is unlikely. So, Andre, keep or sell Heung-min Son. So, personally, I'd be looking to sell him. That Spurs side don't look that great. Not necessarily an easy fixture for this weekend either, away at Everton, although I remember them beating them 4-1, I think, at Christmas time last year in this fixture, or 5-1, something like that. But I think it's time to sell Son. Spurs do not look good enough going forward, so definitely one that I would be looking to move on. I think there are better options in that midfield. There are so many good midfield options now. I would love to be able to play 6 midfield and 1 striker, because if that was the case, I'd bring in Maddison and Martial and ditch Callum Wilson and Cantwell. But sadly, it's not allowed. We can't do that, but that would be what I would go with. So I think there are so many midfielders that I wouldn't use a spot up on Son. Mendy or Cancelo. So for me, it has to be Mendy. With Zinchenko out for we don't know how long, and Mendy being first choice when Zinchenko is back, Cancelo does have to fight for his place with Walker. I think by the end of the season, Cancelo may well be first choice, but we don't know that yet. So for me, definitely Mendy is the one that I'd be going for out of those two. I'm not entirely sure on their prices, so I think they're fairly similar. But yes, I would be going for Mendy out of the two of them. Good evening, Notorious Nerd. I'll get to your question just 1 second. So the question is, is Vardy essential? No, I think is the short answer. I don't think anyone this season is essential apart from maybe Kevin De Bruyne. But I think Vardy is definitely a good pick. If I had unlimited funds, Vardy would be my number one choice. But with the midfield that I want, there is no way for me to get Vardy in. Unless I go Dan James. Hang on a minute. I don't think it would leave me enough. 5.6, no. So I couldn't get Dan James. 6.1, 5 off. Alright. No, so I don't think he's necessarily essential. He's not going to score what they did every week. And actually, there were some stats that I saw. Leicester's performance against teams this season have been, their goal difference has been so weighted against when they've played with 10 men, against opponents who have played with 10 men. So they scored 5 3 weeks ago and 9 this week, but both against 10 men. So you have to wonder how much of an effect that had on the game. So I definitely don't think he's essential. I think he is a good option and they've still got good fixtures for quite a while, but I don't think he's essential. His price makes it difficult for people to get him in, which is why I don't think he's essential. If he was 7.5 or 8.5, I'd say he is, but no, he's not essential. My team value, so I have 102.3 million. I've still got my wildcard to play, which should help that a little bit. So yeah. Is Son a good pick for the upcoming fixtures? So someone said earlier, keep or sell Son, and I would sell him. I know they've got good upcoming fixtures, but there are better options in that midfield for me at the moment that I would pick over Son. I just think his price is too much for the way that him and Spurs are playing. So no, he's not really one that I'd be looking to bring in at the moment. So yeah, it's a no from me on Son and pretty much any Spurs player. Now, the one player that I am considering bringing in is Gazzaniga. Now, it's unlikely that I use a transfer to do Pope to Gazzaniga. I never use a transfer on my goalkeeper unless I don't have one playing. But if I was on a wild card and I have about 7 weeks left, 7 game weeks, 8 game weeks left to wild card now, Gazaniga would definitely be one, especially if I was wildcarding now. So I had a prolonged period where Lloris was still out for. So they have some good fixtures. He scored 8 points, even conceding to Liverpool. We picked up max bonus points when there were 3 goals scored. Um, Yeah, so he scored match bonus points, got 2 or 3. I think he made 12 saves. He got 4 points from saves. So, and he does look good. If Lloris is out for even longer period of time, he is definitely a good pick. But as I said, unless I'm on my wild card, I'm not going to be changing my goalkeepers. Best Leicester defender. So I think the two are Soyuncu and Chilwell. Chilwell for me now is the pick over Pereira just on price. Um, and Soyuncu is then a more budget option. It's a difficult decision for Chilwell versus Soyuncu. I don't think Chilwell will return attacking returns like he did on a weekly basis, although we know what he can do. So, yeah, we know what Chilwell can do. So if you have the spare funds, I would definitely get Chilwell in. So evening, John. Thanks a lot for coming by. There are 9 of you watching now. Thanks so much. Let's just see if I can retweet it on Twitter one more time just to see if we can get anyone else in. But So, Pope Ryan is good. Gazaniga is just booking in a transfer. I do agree that it's just booking in a transfer. So this is why I'd only do it if I was on a wild card. So then it would only be one transfer. But yeah, I would only do that if I was on my wild card. So it's not something that I'm looking to do now. Not at all. Good evening, Vorman. Thank you for coming to join the stream. Sorry, so Vardy has got 18 goals in 20 games under Brendan Rodgers. Just let that sink in. Leicester rubbish at keeping clean sheets, so when Vardy scores, it's 3 bonus. I don't think Leicester are rubbish at keeping clean sheets. I think they've kept a fair few already this season, and their defence doesn't look bad at all. Let's see, they've kept 1 clean sheet, 2 clean sheets, 3 clean sheets this season, but no one's really kept loads. They've got good fixtures, so definitely I'm happy having a Leicester defender in my team. So he is definitely a good option, but it's just the price is slightly out of my range. I definitely, if I could get him in, I would. And for the next few weeks, I will be nervous not owning him. That is definitely true. But you can't own everyone. I can't own everyone, so I've got to make sacrifices in certain places. So what do I think of Firmino? Not as good as Salah or Mane or Trent or Robertson. Probably my 5th choice then. Liverpool player to own, maybe even behind Van Dijk. So not really an option for me. Really Firmino now. His price is too much for the amount of returns he gets. Great player in real life, but just not an FPL asset for me. Who will I captain the next game week? So the next 2 game weeks are really difficult. Game week 12, the standout fixtures: Chelsea at home to Palace, Man U at home to Brighton. Now, I plan on bringing in Anthony Martial. And if that does happen, Martial could end up being my captain at home to Brighton. Chelsea at home to Crystal Palace, although it's the early kickoff on the Saturday, and I don't like doing that, an early kickoff captain, especially when I'm not sure on the player. So Martial is definitely one that's likely. I'll have Jimenez in my team, who has Villa at home. So another one that I will be considering. And then when we move on, so I have 2.3 mil currently in the bank. So Martial in for Campbell and downgrading Callum Wilson to Jimenez is what I'm likely to do, as it says on the right hand side of the stream. And then the game week 13, it doesn't get much easier when Man City are at home to Chelsea. Man U are away at Sheffield United. Where else could we look? Liverpool away at Crystal Palace. Leicester away at Brighton. Game week 13 is just as difficult as game week 12. The next 2 game weeks are very difficult for captaincy. Jimenez again away at Bournemouth could be definitely someone I'll consider, but it will probably end up falling on one of the Liverpool guys. Would I play Connolly, Lundstrom or Soy this week? For me, I'd play Lundstrom out of those, just because I feel like he's got a high clean sheet chance, especially with Chris Wood still not being fit, and we know what he can do going forward. He was very unlucky not to get an attacking return last week. So yeah, for me, JJ, I would definitely be starting Lundstrom out of those two. Definitely Lundstrom for me. Who are you guys all thinking of getting in this game week? Yo, Quarry, thanks for coming by. Fire away any of your questions that you might have. Let me know how your game week went and what your plans are for the next game week. So, yeah, my main thoughts are getting this triple Liverpool into my team. Trent, Salah, Mane. I know it's expensive, but I need to push my rank. And then, the new layout is in the sort of graphic as when you come onto the stream with the picture of Sterling in. Thank you. That was done by someone. What's his FPL _29? I think is at it. Yeah, did that for me. So yeah, it looks really nice. I've got a few of them with different players on, so I don't use the same one every week. So I like it a lot. If that's what you're on about. Would you downgrade Sterling KDB to David Silva? I wouldn't sell KDB. For me, he plays almost every game, so no. Sterling to David Silva is different with their upcoming fixtures. I still probably wouldn't. There are players that I still prefer over David Silva, and I know I'm stubborn, but for me, I'm stubborn on David Silva, and I just don't see myself owning him. You couldn't trust Martial's rubbish at bonus points as well. He scored in 3 games and hasn't been a single bonus point. I could go someone like Yarmolenko and Vardy and get Vardy at all cost. He'll wreck people. The only thing is, John, Mane has returned in every game he started this season. And this is the stat that really gets me. So, yes, there are players in that Man U side who might score more points, but it's just the consistency he gives you. 7, 7, 5, 6. So he's averaged 6 points per game. If he returns you 6 points a game for the rest of the season, you would never sell him. He would just stay in your team all season. So yeah, definitely. I think Martial is a good option. Their next fixtures are Bournemouth, Brighton, Sheffield United, Villa, and then Spurs, but Spurs at home. Okay, then they have City away, but then they have Everton at home, Watford, Newcastle, Burnley, Arsenal, Norwich. So it's a good run of fixtures. So definitely I like him all apart from game week 16. Game week 16 when they have City away. So you have. I was thinking of doing Mane to Martial and Wilson to Firmino. I just wouldn't sell Mane, so I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do those moves. I'd try and get Martial in a different way, even if it was Wilson to a fodder and upgrade your bench midfield fodder if you have one to Martial. I still think that's a better way of doing it. Having 2 returns, Wilson also had returned every game, but look at him, 3 blanks in a row. I suppose that's right, but for me, I am still confident in Martial. He transforms that United team. I was at the Chelsea game last night, and he looked lively when he came on. As much as I hate to talk about that game, but yeah. Hello, Lyle Jones. Thanks for coming. Any of you guys who are new here, make sure you follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, as I will be streaming every week. So yeah, you got 6. Sorry that I wasn't live last week as well, just because I was away on holiday, so I couldn't. You got 61 points. This game week, you've dropped Pookie for Jimenez. This week, I'm thinking of dropping Callum Wilson for Jimenez. So yeah. Definitely like the way you think, Lyle. I like it a lot. So, Notorious Nerd, who is the best Leicester midfield asset? So, for me, you're looking at Maddison, Perez, Barnes, and Tielemans, and it's so hard to pick between them. I worry that Maddison's going to be playing too deep, so I wouldn't be going with him for his price when Tielemans looks really strong. I'd probably go. The other 3 is so hard to choose between, especially because their prices are all so similar. I find that really hard. I'd probably go Tielemans because of his consistency of starting. Perez and Barnes, we don't know if they're going to play every game. So I'd probably go Tielemans just on that ground. How did I do last game week? So I got 56 points, a small green arrow for me, which was nice, and hoping to build on that again this game week. So yeah, this is how I'll line up, hopefully with Martial in to rebuild my power midfield. 2 up front, and then my sort of budget defence that I'm going with at the moment. Yeah, I'd favour Tielemans just about. Yeah, he does look like a really class player. You don't have Sterling should you captain De Bruyne or Aguero. So Arsenal just tweeted a message from Granit Xhaka, which I kind of want to read, but because I just see quotes in it that shouldn't be tweeted by any footballer. But anyway, DZN, thank you for coming by. Make sure all of you are subscribed to the channel. It would really mean a lot to me. Don't have Sterling. Should you captain De Bruyne or Aguero? So I find this one hard. I think you captain De Bruyne, and I think you captain De Bruyne, and if Aguero plays and he scores, you take the points happily. But you know that there's a risk that he doesn't play. I think there's about a 75% chance of Aguero playing, and if you want to take that risk, great. I'd captain Aguero over De Bruyne if they were both playing, but it's that slight risk. Sterling captain for me, yes, over De Bruyne. I'm not owning a 12 million Man City attacker if I'm then not going to captain him. So for me, Sterling it will be. He looks great. And it paid off for me last week, so hopefully it will pay off for me again. But yes. So yeah, Sterling captaincy for me. It stayed there, and I just don't plan on moving it. Just subbed. Thanks. Means a lot. Yeah, so I stream every week on a Thursday, normally at about 7 o'clock when I get back from work. So yeah, and I'm on Twitter, on Instagram, the lot. So make sure you check me out. After taking some time on Sunday. It's just as a note, this message from Xhaka isn't an apology. I would like to give you an explanation rather than just a quick response. People have said things. Oh dear, that's not good. But we'll see. He'll probably be back in the side this weekend, and we'll see. But yeah, guys, who are you captaining this weekend? I imagine a lot of Man City players. There is a reasoning for captaining your Liverpool assets, absolutely. But for me, if you have Man City, then you go with them for sure. I'll read it out for you. I'll read the whole thing out. Um, so basically, he got subbed off, and he started shouting at the crowd, threw his shirt off, and walked down the tunnel because the crowd was shouting abuse at him. He said, the scenes that took place around my substitution have moved me deeply. I love this club and always give 100% on and off the pitch. My feelings of not being understood by the fans and repeated abusive comments at matches and on social media over the last weeks and months have hurt me deeply. People have said things like, we will break your legs, kill your wife, and wish that your daughter gets cancer. That has stirred me up, and I reached boiling point when I felt the reaction in the stadium on Sunday. In this situation, I let myself get carried away and reacted in a way that disrespected the group of fans that support our club, our team, and myself with positive energy. That has not been my intention. I'm sorry if that was what people thought. My wish is that we get back to a place of mutual respect, remembering when we fell in love with this game in the first place. Let's move forward positively together. Not a good one at all, really, from him. Doesn't really say very much. So, not the best from him. But if that's what people are saying on him, then it's not good. Xhaka to leave in January, I don't know. I just find it's hard to see how a player can come back from the scenes. I'm not saying it's his fault. I think people have behaved so badly, but the fans can't say things like that to someone. But it's hard to bounce back when you've behaved like that on the pitch. Sterling 100%, but I'm scared of Aguero. I kind of think I am as well when he starts, but with Pep's comments, he's unlikely to play a full game, so I hope that Sterling can sort of match him. Debating between KDB and Sterling, I would just go Sterling. Depends if Aguero plays. I would captain KDB if Aguero, if no Aguero captain. Well, that's an interesting take on it. You think if Aguero plays, you'd captain De Bruyne, but if he doesn't, you'd go Sterling. That is interesting. And I can see where you're coming from, and I think Aguero will play. But for me, I have to keep on Sterling. His last week in my team, so yeah. Well, that Man City Liverpool game, it will be: do I own Sterling or do I own Mane? Do I buy Sterling the week of before the game or the week after the game? So that's a tough decision for me. But anyway, guys, we've been live for about 40 minutes, so um, I'll wrap it up here if you guys don't have any more questions. There are FPL Dave and Let's Andy on Let's Talk FPL are streaming later tonight. Let them know that I sent you if you guys go and check them out. Dave is on Twitch and Andy is on YouTube, one at 8 and one at 9 o'clock. So, but yeah, good luck with your game weeks. I'm always on Twitter, Instagram, so drop me a DM, tweet at me, whatever you want, and I will answer any questions before the game week. So yeah, and good luck with it. I'll let you all know on Twitter if I make these transfers, which I am likely to do. But yeah, thank you all, guys. Matthew, would you do Robbo and a 4.5 mil or Tielemans? And it depends if you are playing both. And it depends if you have a Liverpool defensive asset. If you're playing both Tielemans and Tomori, if you have a Liverpool asset in defence already, again, Tielemans and Tomori. So I'd only bring in Robertson if you only need one of them and you don't have a Liverpool defender. If both of those are the case, then Robert and a 4.5 mid. But if you already have a Liverpool defender, you'll need to play both, then Tielemans. So yeah, if you don't have a Liverpool defender and you only need to play one of them, then Robbo. Otherwise, Tielemans. Thanks, guys. Who on Twitch? FPL Dave on Twitch. So go check him out and make sure you guys say in the chat that I sent you in. So that would be really helpful. He's a good streamer as well. It starts in 15 minutes, so go check him out. I will be in there in the chat as well, so we can keep chatting away while I make my dinner. But thanks all, guys. I'll see you next week. Please keep sharing this. Tell your friends all about this stream. Trying to grow it as much as possible would mean a lot. So thanks a lot, guys, and see you all. Bye.